right, folks, let's get into our part 2 of the Assyrian Empire, and we'll introduce another empire that'll actually take over the Assyrians. We call them the Chaldeans. But before we do that, let's look a little bit some special things about Assyria. So here we go: 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Yes, here we go. Life in Assyria. The Assyrians lived much like other Mesopotamians. Their writing was based on Babylonian writing, and they worshipped, is it 1, 2, 3, many gods. So they were polytheistic of the same of gods. Their laws were similar, but lawbreakers often faced more brutal and cruel punishments in Syria. I mean, how can it get more cruel than what Hammurabi's code was? But it did. All right. So, as builders, the Assyrians showed great skill. All right. They erected large temples or ziggurats and palaces that they filled with the wall carvings and statues. And there's a bunch of them around today. It's amazing. The Assyrians also produced and collected literature. All right. One of the world's first, where would you collect literature? Where would it go? World's first libraries. That's right, libraries. Was in their capital city of Nineveh. It held, guess how many tablets it held? Actual clay tablets, not little books anymore. They don't have them yet. What do you think? What do you think? 25,000 tablets. That's a lot of stories. That's right. And songs to their gods. Modern historians have learned a lot, or much, it should say, about ancient civilization from this library. That's right. We can't read them all yet. We're starting to still reading them. It's pretty amazing. Maybe you'll read them one day. Assyria's cruel treatment of people led to many. All right, it led to many people, if things are cruel, things aren't going good, it lead to rebellions. In about 650 BCE, the Assyrians began fighting each other over who would be their next king. If you remember from the map, that's that stalemate time. The kingdom would quit growing. A group of people called the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans seized the opportunity to rebel. They captured Nineveh during this time of civil war in 612 BCE, and the Assyrian Empire soon crumbled. It was gone. And the only thing that was left is what we have today. All right, so let's look at the Chaldeans. The Chaldeans wanted to build an empire led by King, check out this little man's name, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. Now make sure I spelled that bad boy right. What a name. Nebuchadnezzar. That's the way I like to spell it. All right. They controlled all of Mesopotamia from 605 BCE until 562 BCE. So, all right. Now, look at the city of Babylon here. Before we get into it, just make sure this is what you'll be wanting to see from, the Chaldeans, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. That's right. The beautiful Hanging Gardens of Babylon will be created under the Chaldeans and Nebuchadnezzar as he builds them for his wife. Yes. All right. So let's get into it. All right. Most of the Chaldeans' descendants, they were descendants of the Babylonian, here we go, the Babylonian people who made up Hammurabi's empire about 1,200 years earlier. They rebuilt the city of Babylon as the glorious center of the empire. Babylon quickly became the world's largest, and because people are coming in there trading, lots of money coming in, richest city in the known world. It was surrounded by a brick wall. Check this out. This is pretty amazing right here. A brick wall so wide that two chariots could pass on the road on top of the wall. Built into the wall at 100-yard intervals were towers where soldiers kept watch. Large palaces and temples stood in the city's center. a huge, all right, what are we looking at? A huge, oh, that's right. All right, temple. A huge ziggurat. A huge ziggurat reached more than 300 feet into the sky. Another marvel visible from, and not form, I should say from, any point in Babylon was an immense staircase of greenery. And this became known as the Hanging Gardens. I was just imagine that. Trees and vines and everything hanging up really high on the walls at the king's palace. These terraced gardens showcased large trees, masses of flowering vines, and beautiful plants. All right. A pump, imagine this, a pump way back in the day, no electricity, but a pump brought in water from nearby rivers. Nebuchadnezzar built the gardens to please his wife, who missed the mountains and plants for homeland in the northwest. One Greek historian in the 400 BCE described the beauty of Babylon. He wrote, "In the magnificence there was no other city that approaches it." That's right, that's what he said. Outside the city of Babylon stood houses and marketplaces. There, all right, who makes stuff? Who makes stuff? Artisans, all right, made pottery, cloth, baskets, and jewelry. They sold their wares to passing caravans or groups of traveling merchants. Because Babylon was located on the major trade route between Persian Gulf and the Mediterranean Sea, it became rich from trade. Babylon was also a center of science. That's right, science. All right. Like earlier peoples in Mesopotamia, the Chaldeans believed that the changes in the sky revealed the plans of the gods. Their astronomers, or people who study the heavenly bodies, map the stars, the planets, and the phases of the moons. The Chaldeans made one of the first sundials, which is like a clock. Yeah, a clock. And were the first to have a 7-day week. So why did the Chaldeans fail? As time passed, the Chaldeans began to lose their power. They found it hard to control the peoples they had conquered. That's right. You have to have people's loyalty. It's hard to control those that you conquer. Ooh, no, there's no two E's in there. All right. And in 539 BCE, all right, Persians, that's right, those that you're used to on 300, Persians from the mountains of the northeast captured Babylon. Mesopotamia became part of the new Persian Empire. We will learn about them later on. Very good. All right, now before we go away, I want you to see these hanging gardens. Check this out, the beautiful hanging gardens of Babylon.
The legend tells us that in the ancient city-state of Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar had just married a new queen. She came from a land of high mountains and green hills, and the flat Mesopotamian plain of Babylon left her homesick and depressed.
From a land of high mountains and green hills, and the flat Mesopotamian
But the king had a grand idea. What if he built a mountain for the queen? A man-made mountain which would be a garden consisting of many levels and terraces that would overhang each other. This hanging garden would be filled with large trees, green plants, and flowers.
This hanging garden would be filled with large trees and green plants.
The king's engineers found this easier said than done. Unlike many ancient cities, Babylon had little stone for building. They had plenty of clay, however, and this was mixed with chopped straw and poured into molds and left to harden into bricks. In sunny Babylon, where the rain rarely fell, these mud bricks worked well. Any building constructed of them, if exposed to water, however, would quickly erode away. How could they be used for a garden when plants would need continual irrigation? The engineers decided to use the few stone slabs they had on any section that was to be planted. For that, they laid a bed of reeds, then a layer of asphalt, a level of tiles, and finally a sheet of
All right, guys, this is going to come to an end. I'll put this on my website. Go check it out. Welcome to the end of